So much words. Gladiator. So much direction. What is still represent? Reggae. Gladiator. Iowa. Ice in iron. Iron top. Sickles. Nothing new under the sun. Like in the days of Moses. The same thing.
Et aujourd'hui, nous avons la chance d'avoir Harrison avec nous, the Groundation, for this special digging interview at Kanaga Records. So, welcome to the store.
Merci.
We had a few look at some records.
All right, let's check it out.
Let's have a look.
All right, Kanaga. Let's see what we got. Let's see what you got. Studio One Rockers. Jimmy Cliff. Yes. Wait a minute. I've never even seen this cover before. Culture Combolo. You know, for me, I met Joseph Phil many, many years ago and became very close with him. And I was dreaming of a Groundation feature with Joseph Phil. And then just a few months later, he passed away. Exactly. So the opportunity never got. Sometimes you have these visions musically, and you think you're going to do it, but something happens, takes the spirit away. So Joseph, we miss you. But this record is a wonderful album. And Kombolo, it's one of the first records that I would play for a drummer, because it's one of the only reggae albums that features the ride cymbal as an actual, instead of him playing the hi-hat, the drummer, because Joseph Phil was a drummer first. Joseph Phil was a drummer and percussionist for Studio One before he began singing. So this is really a great album for drummer.
Great.
So I'm going to take this one.
Okay.
See what you guys got here now. DJ stack. Oh, I can see already what I'm going to do. Right here. Ooh. The master himself, as the great Leroy Horsemouth Wallace would call Don Drummond, the first Bob Marley. Everybody really admired him, and people would be crowded into the halls and waiting for the music to start, but they knew nothing was going to happen until this man came out with his hat and his little cloth to polish his trombone. So Don Drummond, the foundation. That's my number 2.
Oh.
How many did you say? Toi?
Allez, 3.
Trois.
3 is a good
It's a good number, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Reggae horns. Fonzo. Zion trained of Dreader. Yellow, purple. It's bounty.
Oh, what is that?
Yeah, I mean, what is that? Ross Michael and the Sons of Negus. I'm not sure what the cover was, the one version that I have, but this is a different cover. Kibir Amlak. This is a wonderful record. And as Ross Michael is like the first elder that we as Groundation featured. Each one teach one 20-something years ago. So Ross Michael was really our first musical connection to the elders in Jamaica. So these are my 3.
These are your 3?
These are my 3 right here.
And I got a present for you.
What's that? What you got here?
I got Noise Zion with Robert Dallas, Prince Allah, Aboriginal and Horsemouth.
Okay.
On drums. This is for you.
Man, for real. This is wicked. This is what you're talking to me about.
Exactly. That will be playing at the New Morning on the 9th of December with my sister Yuchi. You're welcome.
Oh man, this is great.
And this is very special because actually on the way to Kanaga, you were telling me about a movie that you have made. Can you tell us about it a little?
Sure, yeah. The film is called Holding On to Jah. Took about 16 years. I flew a film crew to Jamaica 3 different times, sitting with the elders and having them tell their story.
They came from the hills, the offspring of 400 years of oppression, to start a movement and bring a message to the world. This is their story. From the prophet
Marcus Garvey's great.
to the king,
His Imperial Majesty is the king of all kings.
against a system of colonial persecution,
We're suffering, hard time pressure, Babylon put on the pressure, you know what I mean?
came an answer to life's tribulations. God,
And a Rasta. Protected by the Almighty Jah.
Jah.
Rastafari!
music,
It was an outlaw music. They say it was the music of the dregs, of the ghetto.
redemption.
And the seed grow, and the seed grow. Yes, man, tell him multiply now like the sands of the seashore. My people have to survive, man. Rastafari, man.
Experience the genesis of a revolution, holding on to Jah.
So Holding On to Jah is the history of Rastafari in Jamaica, told by the musicians and singers who brought it to the world. So it features Israel Vibration, the Abyssinians, the Congos, culture, Ross Michael, a sugar magnate, Pablo Moses, Ijaman, Count Ozzy's Mystic Revelation of Rastafari, and so many others. So for me, I love the history. And I love these. What is this? Going from the history now to the future.
Exactly, and this is what I wanted to tell you. First thing is that, of course, the concert at the Olympia was amazing.
Merci.
Amazing, absolutely loved it.
Yes, yes, this is all I see today. Yes, this is all I see today. Beautiful people of
a great band, a great team, and also you're working on a on a mentality of a band, which is ever so nice. Yeah. This album is dope. It's absolutely brilliant.
Thanks.
So maybe you can tell me a few things about Greed, the track Greed, that is very special because you talked about it.
Yeah, well, there's lots of special things on this record, but Greed is one of those groundation things where you have this polyrhythmic aspect where there's multiple time signatures happening at the same time, so you can feel the downbeat in different places. One of the examples that I was saying was from Hebron Gate. One of the first ones I wrote like this, which is the song Hebron. Chandim, 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 they are on. 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But it also has a slow 4. And Greed is a different thing. It's chaka, chak. It's a slow reggae skank with a cross 6 on the end of 4. So Greed has that same thing where you're not sure where the downbeat is, and only until the chorus comes 2 minutes later does it go into the full reggae swing 1 drop. So yeah, it has this kind of, like I was saying, it was the song I was recommending to Baco. I said, this could be the first single. And Baco said, some of the team is a bit confused with the time and it might be too challenging for listeners, So I said, all right, whatever you guys want to do. And that's when Original Rhythm was the first.
So I want to tell you about my friend Romain, because Romain and I have known each other for a long time. Mm-hmm. We actually nearly met at Alter Musica a long time ago. And he's also, passion journalist and a huge reggae record, digger, as you can see, getting music from Jamaica to Africa. So, I think it would be good if Romain plays your record in the store.
Okay.
So we can...
You're going to hear Greed then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Greed.
Yeah. Track number 3, side A.
Mm-hmm. And we actually recorded it to fit perfectly on the 12-inch. Seeing the CD is not so happening. So the whole complete album is 21 minutes aside. It's the maximum you could put without
21 minutes.
Without having the sound quality. So yeah, man.
Mm-hmm.
And string trio. So those are the 2 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, or 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4. And when I count the strings, 1, 2, they were like, I don't know what that is. They needed to be counted.
Understand.
And this is the globe.
Yes, man.
This is the world, the human race, And my favorite track, is Iron, of course.
Yeah, man, with Israel Vibration.
And we, unfortunately, lost Skelly.
Yep.
Yeah,
Just a month ago
in
or
August.
so.
And also I have a deep, my deepest sincerity condolence for your trumpet player. Because I knew how much he was important.
He was,
your band.
Very much.
Yeah, he was like a foundation.
Yes, and so sudden and just before the tour, it's like we're a bit lost, So it's not an easy thing. And you see Giovanni Macchi, the artist who does all the records, all the albums, is Giovanni. This album is with the CMYK. So if you use a blue light or a red light, it's a different album cover. And if you see here, only with a blue light, It's yellow. Comes into the blue to make the earth, because yellow and blue make green. But when you use a blue light, all you see is the silhouette of these two faces that are shouting at each other. Oh. So that's what this is. This nose and the mouth and the hand, this person's fist. There. So in the live show, when the lighting guy puts blue, you see suddenly this argument. That's what the cover is, an argument happening.
Okay, I did
Yeah.
not.
Yeah, man.
No, I got it. No, I got it. As you can. Yeah.
Impressive.
Yeah, when
Very-
Giovanni told me the concept, I was like, you're the master, Giovanni. That sounds great.
Very impressive. And here is one of the most amazing album of Groundation. The second album.
The third.
The third, sorry.
Third, yeah.
The third. This is
Young Tree, each one teach one, Hebron.
Yeah, this is how I discovered you, because Max was already your press officer at that
Yeah, man.
time, and he did a great job, spreading the music of Groundation.
Yeah, man, this album did it.
Definitely, it was totally new, and the influence of jazz is very deep in this album, but also throughout the whole of your work.
Yeah, man.
What would be one of your favorite jazz musician? I mean, if you had two jazz musicians that you would dream, that they would be still alive and that you'd be working with them. Wow. Who would
I mean, Miles is Miles. Miles Davis.
Miles Davis.
I mean, that's someone that through Miles you get all these classic recordings, and you get Herbie Hancock and Wayne Shorter and John Coltrane and all this jazz history, because Miles is like a major part of all the eras of jazz. So Miles Davis is number one, and one of my biggest influence when it comes to the polyrhythmic is Dave Brubeck.
Oh,
I mean, he was the master of creating odd time signatures that felt so home, so right, Sometimes people write things that are in polyrhythmic and it sounds hard to listen to. But Dave Brubeck had a way. Take Five, of course, is his most famous, and just the way he writes, it inspired me to be like, okay, with reggae's freedom, you can explore these options. And what it does is it makes the songs very unique. Like this song. You're not going to hear another reggae song that sounds like Greed. Only Greed sounds like Greed. Picture on the Wall, when it goes dum gum gum bum get dum get boom dum get dum. Yes, I want back this thing. No other song is going to sound like that. It's a bar of 3 and a bar of 4. So it's very special to itself. Yeah,
for sure.
That creates a very unique thing. And I think that's what people hear.
That's great. Also, I wanted to talk about sound system culture, because Musical Echoes is very much on the sound system tip, and I wanted you to tell me if you had any powerful memories of sound system in Jamaica. If you've been to a sound system.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, for sound system in Jamaica now it gets different, because as it gets later in the evening, it gets more dancehall and slackness and these things. So when I go to sound system in Jamaica now, it would be early on in the sound system that I would enjoy. They play Dennis Brown and Bob Marley and Gregory Isaacs, these things. But
it could be memories, it can be old stuff. It can
the memories I have
Yes.
is that even in Lime Hall in the bush, there's a sound system right next door to the yard, and it's rumbling the house at 2 a.m, out in the countryside. And even memories in Kingston. Depending on where you are in the city, there's a different sound system. But there is a sound system rocking each corner. So it's like the city is alive. Jamaica, you could say, is like the loudest island in the world. Whether it's the sound systems or the dogs or, the rooster or whatever it is, or the people, it's very loud. And sound system, obviously, for the foundation, was the way of hearing music. They had their little radio fusion, those little boxes that you'd put on your house and you'd get one radio station. But really the way they heard music was to go to the sound system. A small money to get in, and you'd be hearing the new music.
That's right. That's how you would get your music over.
That's how you would get it. That's how you would get it. And then, and because of that, like even I was just reading in the new Chris Blackwell book. I didn't realize that Chris Blackwell was a big part of getting those records for Coxsone and Duke Reed. And because Chris Blackwell was traveling all over the world. And he was the one finding these stuff. And this is where Chris Blackwell learned what Jamaicans like to hear. It's where he learned in the jukeboxes what songs go good, like in an album. What songs make sense next to each other. So he was a big part of compiling Bob Marley's albums. Even creating Exodus and creating Kaya was in his knowledge of sound system and like, okay, these songs belong together. We're going to tell the first side of Exodus is going to be the militant side. The next side is going to be the love side, you know? And Kaya was going to be a softer album than Exodus. So these type of things all come from the sound system.
That's right.
Amen, that's it.
Yes, and people like King Tubby, I think, have done a huge job for reggae music. I think he's like, I would say the foundation, the beginning.
Yeah.
And people like Scientist, of course, and
coming after him.
Shaka, all these people. But King Tubby, it really started.
Tubby's was where, if Duke Reed wanted to challenge Coxsone and get a bigger sound, the one who was making the amplifiers was Tubby. Before Tubby had his studio and all these things. In downtown Kingston, he was the one, you want a stronger amplifier? You go to Tubbs. And he's going to build you your custom amplifier to make your sound stronger than Coxsone. And then Coxsone wants his sound now to be bigger. Go back to King Tubby. So Tubby was really a central figure before he did any studio work. He was there building things for these guys. And he's like a genius, like a engineering genius.
For sure.
Yeah, man.
For sure.
Tubby.
Yeah. So, what can I say? I mean, there is so many records, so many people. Prince Farai, Johnny Clark.
It's a long time ago.
Marcus I, all these people that, I know how much love you have for Jamaican music and for music as general, Like I said, you're almost like a cultural center. This is how I see you, like a live cultural center. And what you will leave behind you is huge. It's a cultural heritage that will be there forever.
Give thanks for that. And give thanks for these places too. You guys have all the great music. You got soul and you got funk. You got your rock and your reggae, your jazz.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thank you.
We love records.
Yeah.
We love music.
Yeah, big up yourself.
Thanks a lot. That's nice.
Yeah, man, it's great to be here.